And we are back for the finals. Yeah, we would like to play first. On the draw, I would probably keep this. On the play, I don't think that we can. It's not unreasonable. Like with the math, there's 16 lands in the deck. You're slightly less than 50% to hit each time. But I think missing one land drop just puts this out of reach. If this was another low casting cost spell, I might consider it, but it's not. This we can keep. It's got both of our card draw spells, but like we're really happy to draw like straight lands. And there's not many hands you can say that in. And that even gives us another 2-drop, which I'm absolutely fine with. So I think we'll keep that, and then if we like jam lands, cool, we'll cast the big stuff. If we don't, cool, we'll cast the little stuff. Like I realize we're blanking our draw for one land, but such is the power of the Thermo Alchemist. It attacks, it blocks, it just does all the things. Deranged Whelp will get us in for more damage immediately. So I'd rather curve out with things that can attack and then resolve the Alchemist later. Because like this is getting in for 2 and the Alchemist can block whatever they play. So can Brazen Wolves. Want to block? Didn't think so. You can't. Whelp. Rawr. Look at all my wolves. Steadfast Cathar is pretty good because he's so difficult to block. However, they are very vulnerable to 1 damage spells, and I've seen a lot of stuff that deals 1 damage to a creature in this set. So is the Deranged Whelp, but the Menace means that you're probably going to get in some damage and trade with an actual card. I'd rather be aggressive until we can't be aggressive anymore. Like this puts them in an awkward position of basically having to take 2 while trading this off, and I'm kind of fine with that. And then again, 1 more land and we're in business. They can't not block these wolves, which I think means they should have attacked with the Steadfast Cathar. I don't think I would have blocked it. I might have though. Like we got 4 damage off of this dude. And we're still in a position where we can attack with it. Right, so this is probably a Drogskull Captain dude, which is fine. So I could emerge this, but meh, it doesn't really do much. Actually, I couldn't, could I? Yeah, not with a bunch of 2-drops. Yeah, Drogskull Shieldmate or whatever, that's fine. We can just take out the Cathar. Like dealt 4 damage, traded with your 2-drop, I'm good with that. Drogskull Captain was the one from the original Innistrad, I think. They're also indicating to me that they don't like to bluff, which means when they finally do attack into my dude, they probably have something. Alright, pretty happy about that land. Let's untap my lands, not yours. And I could discard the land, which is a little greedy, for sure. I mean, I'll draw another one at some point, right? Yeah, and I'm happy enough playing the Innkeeper next turn if I have to. It can at least attack in. So I've got Alchemist this turn, Innkeeper next turn, and then when I hit another land, things just get better. And if I'm not hitting another land, I'm at least hitting something else I can play. Plus that gets me close to Delirium. Not that I actually really have a chance to do it, but... Okay, Death Touch team is cute. I'll give you that. That can actually do a thing for me. No, I don't need to be lazy, because then they just murderous compulsion me. That's just asking for bad things to happen. Alright, so we hit the land. Does that mean I just want to slam this? I kind of like the Innkeeper. Because it can at least trade with something. Yeah, I think I want to do that. Like if we get to them to where they're just hitting for 3 a turn, because they can still attack with these 2, and I can't block it because of the Skulk, but we're holding back Audric with the Innkeeper, and that means we can potentially attack them, which means they may want to even hold back the rats to trade for the Innkeeper. Like if we slow things down, we can just kind of wreck them with these dudes. Pling, pling. So we could get Nibbles going, but I think I like Scouring end of turn. It means I'm going to take 6. I can take 6. Because we're potentially dealing a lot more to them. It does open us up to like a Blessed Alliance, which is, I mean, a thing that can happen. But if they just take that, they're basically dead. Famous last words. They play a lifelinker, it's game over, man. I really hope they don't play a lifelinker. That would be so bad. So bad. I would not like it if they played a lifelinker. Okay, no lifelink. That is good. Yeah. Oh, so you are planning on blocking. Okay. Ping. Ping. Blurp. Ping. Ping. If we draw another spell, they're just dead. That's not on... that is another spell. Look at that. Look at that. You guys digging the Alchemist now? The best part is, even if they have something, we can flash this guy in and tap down their Drogskull Shield mate. Like, they're just dead 8 different ways. Okay, so... they probably have some enchantments, and, like, I don't know what you splash for. Sometimes a Fireball, sometimes, like, a Nahiri's Wrath. I mean, I'm not super worried about Mythics, as you don't see those very often. And we saw it in Game 1, Round 1. Whatever. Match 1? I don't even know what you're supposed to call these anymore. So we need to remember they've got the Flash dude that pumps them, but we kind of saw that one coming anyway and just didn't care. The Innkeepers seem fine. These dudes still seem fine. We probably don't need that much late game, but that's okay. I like Investigation. Frogwalker can do a thing for us potentially. It also blocks skulky crap. I don't like the Chilling Grasp, but I don't think we're in a position to not play it. It's a little worse on the draw against another deck that has potentially aggressive openings, but I think we've won the game every time we've drawn it, so maybe I should just leave it in here and be happy. Thermo Alchemist is going on a rampage and getting that alchemy done. They are turning the lead of bad drafts into the gold of winning 8-4s. Because that's what alchemists do. This hand is not as beautiful as some of the other ones we've had, but it's certainly acceptable. We've got a solid 2, 3, 4. I'd really like, obviously, to hit land drops, but on the draw with 15 lands left in the deck, we should at least get to 3 relatively unimpeded. And if not, I guess hitting another 2-drop isn't the worst. Depending on what they play, I may just run that out. If they've got their 2-1 guy again, maybe not, but... So how do I feel about just trading off with the Guardian of Pilgrims? Not terribly bad. Like, they played it out for no value, meaning they want to be aggressive, and since we've missed a land there, I think I want to play it a little close to the vest here. Like, if they're going to let this trade happen, that's fine. If they're going to use a combat trick, it'll probably take up most of their turn. And that's kind of Furtive Homunculus's dream, is to trade for an actual card. Alright, alright, alright. I will trade 3 for 4. And little do they know, if they've got like a choking grasp for it, we're kind of happy about it. Well, now that's going to be a bit of a problem, you see, because their creature is huge and I can't do anything about it. I can block it next turn with this guy. That's a little obvious what I'm going for, but if we manage to kill their dude, whoo lordy, are we in business. You're gonna tap my guy too. You're such a jerk. Why would you be such a jerk? I don't understand. All right, so can I do anything here? Not quite. Because I really need to be able... Oh, this is so close. We're basically 1 mana off from doing interesting things. So I think what I do here is play the Innkeeper, tap down their planes, and then trade off whichever one they let me with the Fiendbinder, and then plan to 2 for 1 myself next turn with the other creature that's left and the Galvanic Bombardment. That's not much of a chance for us to get out of this, but it is some chance for us to get out of this. If they've got basically anything, we're screwed. Like, another option would be to play the Illuminator, bolt this, and go to 5, but I'm not super comfortable with that. Okay, the double strike's going to be a problem too. Not attacking with the Fiendbinder was an interesting move. I'm not sure that I can actually interact with this, though, is the problem. I actually can, but not if they attack next turn. I clearly can't take 10, so we're chumping. Does land do anything for me? Not if they attack and tap a dude. That's the real downside. Like, what I can do, potentially, if they don't attack with both, is double block with this Illuminator. The first 5 strikes one of them down. No, then we're still... This isn't a lightning bolt. This isn't a lightning bolt. I'm basically locked into chumping. Forever and ever. Amen. Like, getting this out and looking for a card doesn't do much. Do we have a bounce spell we could draw? Like something? I don't think we really have a solid way to interact with that. Yeah. Like, chump blocking it with this would be potentially good. Drawing the Chilling Grass would be potentially good. But, like, we don't actually have anything else we can do here. I guess then I'm going to continue to default to just playing the biggest mana spell that I can with the hopes that we can eventually draw something that does something. But I'm like stuck in a position now where I have to chump block this every turn. Like, if they attack with both, and tap down my innkeeper, I have to throw away my arsonists. They chose not to do that last turn, which I find interesting. That damn near kills me. I can't actually think of any draws that get us out here. I guess we would need the tappy spell for starters, because we got to chump that or we're dead. At least they let me keep my biggest creature. Stormrider Spirit can flash in. I guess since the tappy spell technically does it, we should hit for 5 and then sack it to this guy. And see if we can hit the tappy spell. But that's not super likely to, like, save us. Well, I can double chump if we bombardment this. I again, don't really know what we're trying to do. But I guess I should probably do it. Yeah, because we can double strike down. We can strike down Audric and then chump with the Illuminator. Like at this point, if he attacks with Audric, we can at least get Audric off the board. I mean, it's conceivably possible we could string together enough creatures to chump this forever and kill him in the air. I think I'm out of actual outs. That's gonna hurt too. Tooth Collector. Okay, so they're... Last game, they were black-white. This game, I'm kind of confused as to what's happening here. So everything has double strike. Everything is lethal. Let's at least maybe see if we can get them to be scared to attack. I can't really see why they would be, but not much point in scooping. I think this game was over a while ago, but we're going to give them an opportunity to make a mistake, for sure. They're very vulnerable to removal and or bounce spells, which we don't have. So I think once we get this far behind, our deck just really can't function. Like, we would still have an out to draw a bounce spell here. I have to double chomp. Like, imagine how good a bounce spell would have been right there. Especially return target permanent, like that one. And I think I can probably scoop them here because I just don't see much point in showing them additional cards, and we're very dead on board. So this is the rare Travis Concession. It makes me mostly interested in only early game, but like, there's really nothing we can do about that enchantment. I don't even have anything to side in that can do anything there. Yeah, we're just stone cold to that, which sucks, but our answer is to be faster, to get in there before they can and try to wreck them. So let's try that. They're also likely to have some mana trouble, so it looks like black was actually the splasher. They're mono white, splashing for that and maybe a couple of other cards, but surprisingly this looks fine. We'll hit our land drops. We've got 2 into 3. I'm down with that. I'd rather have the deranged whelp, obviously, but it lets us have a little bit of initiative here. Nibbles. I like nibbles. Alright. I think we've got a plan here. This is kind of exactly what we wanted this deck to do. Frogwalker. I did not mean to play the Frogwalker. I meant to play the Innkeeper. But I drew the Frogwalker and saw the Frogwalker and said Frogwalker and really messed up my sequencing. Like, the whole plan was to play around that card. And yet, I didn't. Travis, it's like you don't want to win. I was actually so impressed that I thought to call it Frogwalker. They took the damage for some reason, which I think is just really awesome of them. It's like they knew I messed up, but... So here, I've got the option of play the Herald and get in. I think they've got the sack and attacking creature dude, which is fine. We could sack this. It's not the end of the world. But, like, my whole plan gets better if I actually resolve the Innkeeper and then go for the hit next turn. So I'm going to do that. The only thing worse than making a misplay is following it up with a worse play to try to justify it. And this still lets us attack with the Frogwalker. And then next turn, ideally, we can tap down that shield mate and get into big hit. I just basically put the game on challenge mode when I didn't need to. All right, they are nervous about my 3/3, which I approve of. Such lost value on the Frogwalker. Although it may deal 13 points of damage to them. I mean, it could happen. I'm kind of scared of what they're casting here. Okay, Perish Blade. That's not the end of the world. Means I can actually get some pretty good attacks in here, so I will. Like, the only thing they can actually trade with is the Cultist, and I'm kind of happy if they do. I'm also kind of happy if they take 5. Alright. I mean, ideally we'd hit a non-land there, but this leaves us, in my estimation, with pretty good options, because again, we're hitting for 3 a turn and they can't block it, and we've got cards we can draw that do things and stuff. Did they whiff on that? Puts no cards into their hand. Okay, they did. That's good. Nibbles is fine. So we can get in with these two. I could have gotten in with the other guy too, couldn't I? Because I don't read my cards. I missed a point of damage. Wow. Alright, again, the only thing worse than making a misplay is to follow it up with a worse misplay. But that matters. Them being at 6 means the spell would be lethal next turn, and it's not going to be now. Sequencing matters, boys and girls. It's also new cards and getting used to them. This is just completely irrelevant. Unless they're going to try to kill me or something, which is fine. Okay, so it didn't end up mattering, but it still kind of makes me feel stupid. Let's go ahead and put them to 1 so everything's lethal. We're dead to a lifelinker. Basically, we were going to be dead to a lifelinker anyway, so... that is what it is. Like, even just a grotesque mutation would do it. Sorry about the misplays. New sets, narrating your plays, it can all get a little rough. But missing that 2 points of damage on the Furtive Homunculus mattered. They're at 2, and we put ourselves in a position where they can gain life and kill us. We don't need to be in that position. We just don't need to be there. And yet, here we are. Alright, so I suppose I should play around Uncaged Fury. If I don't block here, a Fury would do... well, they'd have cast that first every time. But they may have a Wrath, and I don't think this creature is super relevant here, so I'm going to block it. Like, even if they gain 4... God, that still matters. Yeah, Blessed Alliance gets us, which means this guy isn't blocking, which means I may as well go ahead and block. Okay. My deck saved me by just being pretty good, despite misplays. I was trying to clutch defeat from the jaws of victory, but we managed to get there anyway. I don't think this was the best deck I've ever drafted, but early in the format you get some kind of janky stuff. And again, I apologize for the misplays, but these things can and do happen, especially as you're playing a new set. So thanks for watching here. I will see you again next week here on SeemsGoodMagic.com, and if you want to watch me learn the format even more, do come check out the stream. I am doing that full time now at twitch.tv/Simulin. Alrighty, thank you my friends, and we'll see you next week. Bye.